But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with our weekly outlook. This is our weekly outlook for December 9th through the 14th. Thank you guys for taking some time out of your week to watch what I have to say about the markets. First and foremost, just want to make some promises that before the end of this webinar, you're going to have a very clear understanding of exactly what pairs I'm interested in trading this week, and hopefully this analysis will help you be able to find some high probability setups in the markets this week. Also, just a little bit of self-promotion real quick, give you guys some updates. Well, first thing is, if you guys get some value out of this, please smash that like button and leave a comment. Even if you don't leave a comment, just like this video, please. It helps out the channel a lot. Throughout, as of this recording right now, I have a little bit over 1,000 subscribers, and we're growing at a very rapid pace. I get analytics sent to me at the end of each month from YouTube, and it's pretty incredible how fast this channel is growing. And a couple weeks ago, to get a nice camera for the course, I also got a nice camera. That way I could film some really nice videos for you guys, film some high quality videos, and do just kind of a mixture of everything on this channel. So as this channel grows over the next year or so, you're gonna see a lot more of lifestyle, a lot of vlogs, a lot of quick 5-10 minute videos on little tips here and there about Forex, and it's not just going to be a bunch of videos of the weekly outlook. So make sure you are subscribed also, and you have notifications turned on, because I'm not going to spam you guys. The only times you guys are ever going to get notifications is when it's something important, and any of the videos I release are going to be very important. So other than that, thank you guys for your support. Just a quick little life update for myself as well before we get started. The course did not get finished by December 1st, as most of you guys saw all over social media. November was an extremely busy month for me and my students. Not only that, but the courses, the lessons, 70 plus lessons takes a lot longer to film. So I actually only have about 10 lessons left to film. But this next week and a half and the past week, I have spent some time in Bangkok with some really good friends of mine. I went to a crypto conference. If you guys don't follow me on social media, specifically Instagram, I highly recommend you guys to. My social links are in the description, but my Instagram name is just @DavidShinkle, and you guys can follow me on my adventures. I've been traveling for the past over the past year, about a year and a month or two. I've been traveling around the world, and I'm finishing off my travels finally in the next week and a half. I'm spending my last week and a half out here on a beautiful island called Koh Samui. It's right off of the coast of Thailand, the southern tip of Thailand, and it is beautiful, guys. It's a little rainy out here right now, but it is this tropical paradise. I have a whole villa with a pool and everything, all private villa, all to myself. And it's because of Forex, guys. It's because of the skill that I've been able to leverage, that I've been able to travel the world. I'm 25 years old. Most 25 years old can't say that they've traveled all over the world, guys. I've been to Beijing, I've been to Australia, I've been to Central America, I've been all over Thailand the past 2 months. I lived in Australia for 6 months just because I wanted to. I kind of live my life just how I want, and that's what life is about, guys. So I appreciate you guys all being here, but if anything, I want these videos not just to help you with trading, but when you guys hear these types of things, I want these things to be able to motivate you to live a life that you want. Maybe you don't care about traveling that much, but I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this want that time freedom and that financial freedom, and Forex is one of those many vehicles. Forex is not the only vehicle to wealth. It is just one of those many vehicles that you can use to get to where you want to be. And as I say before, Forex is long-term, guys. It's not something that you should be getting into and expecting to get rich in 3 months or quit your job in the next year if you're brand new to Forex, right? It takes time. It takes a lot of time. It took me 2 years of being in Forex to even be able to leave my job. And I was also just in a very lucky situation. I probably shouldn't have left my job after 2 years, but I was also 22 at the time and had no real overhead, right? I was living in a small house with some friends and had very cheap rent, no car bills, no nothing, no lifestyle that I had to pay for, just a couple $100 to pay for rent and keep some food on the table. So but now I'm here today managing almost 400 accounts worldwide and also working for a firm managing their private equity, and that's where a majority of my income comes from, is through profit sharing and being able to leverage other people's money. You guys know I also have my own personal six-figure trading account, but my returns are moderate. I am not looking to flip accounts. I'm not looking for 100%, 200% growth in a month. And that's not because that truly at the end of the day is not sustainable long term. We looked at on the last, I believe it was the last or the week before last weekly outlook. We looked at a chart with the top traders that have ever lived in the entire world, right? And they average about 30% a year, right? So if those are the greatest and they were able to create multi-million-dollar and multi-billion-dollar wealth off of 30% returns, they're averaging 30% returns per year, guys, not per month, 30% per year. We should probably take hints from those people, and that's what I've done. And it's incredible, guys. If you can consistently grow your account 30%, 40% a year, you will have people hitting you up all over the world wanting to hand you millions and millions of dollars to trade for them. And that in turn, you can take a profit share of that. You can take a cut. So, don't think that to make it in Forex, you need to have a large account, right? If you are working a 9 to 5 and living paycheck to paycheck, your goal should be to get to a point of consistency where you can manage other people's money. That's where the real money is in Forex, because if you don't have a ton of money to start off with, it's going to take a long time to build your account from, $1,000 or a couple $100, staying consistent with low risk. So that is what you should be going to. So I encourage all of you guys to be tracking your progress. Hook your accounts up to a MyFX book. Watch your consistency. But that's enough of the little pep talk for the morning, or morning over where I am. It's 8 in the morning over here in Thailand. I know for most of you guys in the Western world watching this, it is late, or if you're watching the recording, it's a completely different time. So let's get into things, guys. Let's talk about a couple things. Me and my students, we're actually already in a trade right now. I'm not going to give out that trader, or I'm going to go over that pair, but I'm not even going to hint at what pair that is, because that is for me and my students. But there's a lot of good setups in the market this week. There's a lot of good trades that we'll be looking at. But first and foremost, what I do want to look at is the economic calendar. And before I get into things, I do just want to give out my disclaimer that anything you guys see on here today is not financial advice. It should be taken as education and informational purposes only. This is not investment advice. This is just one man's opinion of where the markets are going to go. And I teach a specific strategy to my students that you don't have to be right 100% of the time. You don't even have to be right 50% of the time. You can be right 40% of the time, 40, you can be between 40 and 50% of the time you can be right and still profit. So what does that mean? That means I lose about 40 to 50% of my trades, and I'm fine with that. I'm still profitable long term. So anybody can come at me and say, oh, you're a 50% profitable trader. Guys, some of the best traders in this world that have made millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars did it being profitable 20% of the time, 30% of the time, 40% of the time. And they did that because they understood risk to reward. And that's one thing that I teach my students is being able to find a consistently good risk to reward trades while consistently using good risk management. Um, Also, my program is closed right now. I'm not accepting any students. There's nothing that is open. The only services that I offer right now is my trade copier, which if you look in the description below, you can connect to completely for free. There's a 35% profit share. And you need a minimum account balance in your account with FX Choice of 2,000 US dollars. But as long as you have 2,000 US dollars in your account, it will copy all of my trades. There's no upfront cost for using it. Any profits I make on your account, we will split those profits. You will get to keep 65% of those profits. I will get to keep 35% of those profits above the highest watermark. If you don't know what the highest watermark is, go ahead and Google that. But the link is in the description to connect to my trade copier, as well as the track record for that trade copier is in the description as well. And the only other thing that I'm going to be having is my course, and my course will be done around New Year's. Okay, so before the 1st of 2019, because I wasn't able to get it done by December 1st, and I'm still in the middle of, very much so in the middle of my travels. Not able to focus on those while I'm here in Koh Samui or while I was in Bangkok. I'm going to finish them as soon as I get back to the States. Okay, and if you have any questions, if you guys are watching this live, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Okay, so this week, couple high impact news to talk about. Cortez says Euro USD. Yeah, guys, we'll go over that. Nick Johnson says I'm out. See you, Nick. No worries. And let's go ahead and talk about the economic calendar. Big key risk event for this week, okay, guys? So there's a couple high impact news throughout the week. We have some GDP not too far from now, and actually about 8 hours from now, we have GDP coming out for the pound. And then tomorrow, we've got a Parliament Brexit vote. And that's very important. This is going to be a big market mover for the pound, guys. If you're new to Forex and you don't know what Brexit is, this is not the webinar where I go over Brexit, but you definitely need to go and look up what Brexit is. It was the pound leaving the Great Britain leaving the European Union, and this isn't anything new. It's been going on for a couple of years now, but we are finally getting into the stages of decisions and how they're going to handle Brexit and whatnot. So there's a vote happening on Tuesday with it. And yeah, we'll be watching what happens. There's pretty much 3 outcomes for the Brexit vote, right? It's either going to be in the favor of the pound or not in favor of the pound, or they're going to decide to extend the vote and kind of keep things extended, if that makes sense. They aren't going to really give a clear decision. They're going to say, okay, we're going to wait for more data, or we're going to wait for more information, okay? And Wednesday, we have some CPI coming out for the US dollar, some more high impact news. And then to finish off this week, there's some more high impact news for the Swiss franc as well as the euro. On Thursday, there's a European Central Bank press conference, so there will be questions being asked about the euro. And then to finish off the week on Friday, we have some core retail sales for the US dollar. So nothing too crazy this week. You guys can see that there's no interest rate decisions this week. There's nothing too big. I would say by a landslide, the key risk event this week is going to be the Parliament Brexit vote, okay? But let's get into the charts and let's give you guys a view of what's going on, okay? So first things first is the dollar index. Let's look at the dollar, okay? If you guys have been following these weekly outlooks for a while, I have been calling downside on the dollar index for a very long time. For not just last week, not the week before last. I don't know why it's not loading. There we go. It's loading. Okay. I've been calling downside. I said this is actually back on November 23rd. Even before November 23rd, and I publicly published this, I was bearish. I began a bearish outlook on the dollar. So you can see back on November 23rd, up here in the top left, I said dollar index weakness coming. And I have a lot of other trade ideas. If you guys don't follow me on TradingView, you definitely can. It's just my first and last name. I post free trade ideas all over there. And we talked about, I posted one for AUD USD, Euro USD, and USD Swiss franc. If you would like to go and see more about that, that's also something we're going to be talking about today. And I said that I'm expecting downside on this pair. So we've pretty much consolidated around these highs. The dollar index still is not officially really found a top. This is the weekly chart, by the way, guys. So here's the daily on the dollar index. It's definitely had a bit of distribution going on. It's finding some resistance around this area. There is a little small, like, micro head and shoulders inside here. We can see a little bit of a head and shoulders going on. But we still technically have not broken the higher lows that we have created on this rally. So looking to see what happens. This EMA that you guys can see is the 50 EMA. You can see that it's a good indicator of support for price. I'd like to definitely see this 50 EMA broken before looking at scaling in some more shorts on this pair. But overall, I am bearish on the dollar index, and a lot of that comes not just from the technical side of things, but also very much so the fundamentals for the US dollar right now. Gold, I've been telling you guys, if you've been following my weekly outlooks, I've been telling you guys 1265 is my target on gold. I've been targeting 1265 since October. Since mid-October, I've been telling you guys 1265. So we saw a bit of a dip early November. Nothing to worry about. We didn't see our higher lows broken, and we are continuing to rally. And this makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, if I'm bearish on the dollar, it only makes sense to be bullish on gold. There's no other way around it. So I would expect gold to continue moving higher as the dollar index moves lower. Euro USD, exact opposite of the dollar index, right? So if I just went over a couple minutes talking about how I'm bearish on the dollar index, well, that means I'm bullish on Euro USD. And I've been bullish since November 13th, guys. Since this false breakout, even during this false breakout, if you guys were one of my students, or you guys were in the Telegram, I hinted to this as well. We caught on November 12th this daily candle. We caught this 100 pip drop. We immediately closed at the bottom, and I told all of you guys, I told all of my students, I said, hey, I have a very good feeling that this is a false breakout. Sure enough, it was a false breakout. And we saw price move back up, and since then, it's just kind of found a bit of accumulation, but hasn't really found any real move to the upside yet. I called this weeks ago, guys, that I am bullish on Euro USD, right? Everybody and their mom wants to sell Euro USD, saying how it's going to go lower and go lower. Guys, Euro USD is bullish, okay? Euro USD is not bearish. On the higher time frame, yes, it's bearish, but on these lower time frames, it is extremely bullish. We have found there are some very clear reversal signs with this pair. Now, is it still high risk to be taking a buy? Absolutely. I would like to see price move much higher, but I've told you guys that my targets are 118, 119 on Euro USD, looking for this pair to find a reversal. You can even see it's not even marked off here because I'm not super interested in trading it. Now let's talk about the infamous trade, guys. Okay, if you guys were in my Telegram, go and look in my Telegram. There's a pinned message. You might see a blank screen for a second because I'm going to go ahead and see what date it's from. On November 23rd, guys. Okay, almost, let's see, what is that? September, October, November, December. So 2.5 weeks ago, I gave out this trade for free in Telegram. Okay, I gave out this trade completely for free. Okay, I took this trade. All of my students took this trade on my daily webinars. We talked about this trade for the past 2.5 weeks. Okay, it didn't go in our favor right away, but did we get stopped out? Nope. We got very close to getting stopped out on December 5th. I know some of you guys messaged me, oh, I got stopped out. Well, that's because of your broker. If you had a pro account with FX Choice, not a classic account, but a pro account with FX Choice, which is what the MAM account, all of my clients' accounts, all of the students that I recommend, all of the only account that I recommend to all of my students to use, a pro account with FX Choice. We did not get stopped out, and anybody watching this can attest to that as well. Almost got stopped out a few times. Even this last time here got within a couple pips of stopping us out, but ultimately it is moving in our favor. Now, I chose to close this trade at the end of last week just because of the consolidation we held through, and also because of the swap fees. That was the biggest factor for me, as we are getting killed, absolutely killed with the swap. The swap was very high for this trade, obviously for a reason. Brokers don't want us taking a short on this pair, among other reasons, or didn't want us taking a short on this pair. We can see that they even attempted to stop us out a few times, but our stop loss was pretty much to the pip perfect. And so I'm going to go ahead and delete this trade idea for now, or I may even just keep this on here, but this is our original plan, right? A 70 pip stop loss for a 220 pip take profit. So I'd like to see this prophecy per se on USD Swiss franc go through, and I think it will still happen. We originally became bearish on this pair on the weekly chart after a long, almost what is that, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost a 7-week rally on USD Swiss franc, and then finally saw some signs of exhaustion, and it just took a while, right? It didn't drop right away, right? We took this short playing off of the bear flag and expecting price to move lower immediately, and it just didn't happen right away. But we can see that being patient pays off, just straight up. There's no other way to say it. Patience pays off, guys. Pound yen. I am bearish on pound yen. Oh, well, I guess there you guys go. This is actually the trade that we're in. So this is meant to be hidden. So this is actually a trade that we're in right now. So if you're watching this for free and you got to this point in the video and you weren't lazy, like 90% of the people are, 90% of the people aren't even going to get to this part in the video, right? I'm giving out a free trade right now. People are so lazy. They want people to just hand out a trade. They won't even watch a 30-minute video to get a free trade. It's pretty sad. So this is actually a trade that we just placed. We took a sell on pound yen. Have 110 pips stop loss to make 290 pips. Still a very nice risk to reward, 2.64. And I'm not going to go over all the parameters on this trade. If you're a student, we'll be going. I gave out the analysis in the Signal group and also went over this pair, and will also go over this pair on the daily webinar tomorrow that you guys will be a part of if you are a student. So pretty clear though. I've been telling you guys why I've been looking for a sell on pound yen for a while. It really starts off on the monthly and kind of goes down onto the lower time frames. And finally, it looks like we're getting a good entry to take or to get into this trade. Dollar yen, bearish on dollar yen, right? If I'm bearish on pound yen, I'm bearish on dollar yen as well. I've been looking for some sell signs for a while on this pair. Looks like we're finally getting it this week. This may be a trade if you're a student of mine or you're just a client of mine that you might be able to expect to see a trade happen this week. Big strong supply level for dollar yen around the 114, 115 area. So we saw a nice rejection as expected. I've been telling you guys I've been expecting this pair to find some downside the past couple weeks. We are starting to see that, so we'll see what happens this week. But I think pound yen is offering the best opportunity at this point. Dollar yen, AUD USD. All right, Aussie dollar. We caught a buy a few weeks ago on November 28th. Yeah, November 28th, somewhere around that time. I don't remember exactly, but we closed a strong buy. Well, first, also, guys, let's show you guys the MyFX book for the month, so you guys can see that we've had an extremely solid month so far. Okay, so here we go. This month we are up about 6% already. You can see our equity growth went from 14.23% up to almost 21% on a single on these. This is actually just 2 trades. It's just 2 trades that we held for a while, and we can see for the month of December we are up 5.77%. November, we still closed a nice positive month. That's still some very nice green growth. And I know some of you guys watching this, you're like, wow, that's only 1.24%, and you're only averaging 3.3% per month. And because of your perspective with social media and seeing how everybody talks about Forex on Facebook and Instagram, you're probably like, wow, that's terrible returns. Well, guys, these terrible returns have gotten me to the point where I'm able to manage a seven-figure account, and I also have over 400 or almost 400 clients that I trade for, and I'm able to make. I'm not a huge income talker, but guys, I do very well for myself with trading. Okay, just think in your head really quickly what 3% of $1,000,000 is. Okay, think what 3.36% of $1,000,000 is. Right? If you need the calculator, grab it. If you can't do it in your head, just think about it. Okay, it's $33,600. Okay, 3% of $1,000,000 is $30,000. And imagine if you got to keep half of that. Right? Imagine if the person you were managing that $1,000,000 for was like, you can keep 50% of the profits that you make. Okay, not including 400 accounts that I manage on my own. Okay, almost. I need to do the count. I know it's more than 350, and it might even be more than 400 now. I know we were really close to 400 last month, so I need to see how many accounts. So put things into perspective, guys. I do very, very well for myself, and think about a month like this. Think about a month in July, our best month this year. We did 15%. Okay, what's 15% of $1,000,000? 15% of $1,000,000 is $150,000. Okay, imagine getting to keep half of that. Right, that's $75,000 that you would make in 1 month. That's double the average income for one person in the United States. Okay, that's probably quadruple, 5 times, 6 times the average income of most countries, most low earning income countries. Okay, it's pretty powerful when you understand how to properly leverage Forex, guys. Okay, all right. So AUD USD, anyways, back to AUD USD. I just wanted to cover that because that is a trade that was part of this. If you can actually see right here, 5.7%, you can see one of the trades that we had right here, AUD USD, right here. Okay, and that made up, we took a buy down here actually where I put low risk buys. We took a buy on AUD USD, rode it all the way up and closed it at the beginning of last week all the way up here for about 140 pips. Because I could kind of tell that a pullback was going to happen, a correction was going to happen, and sure enough, the correction happened. So I've marked off the liquidity levels, and I think looking for a rebuy on AUD USD. Maybe it might not come this week, maybe next week or so, but at some point, I'm still very bullish on AUD USD. Let me just put it that way. Okay. NZD USD. Same thing. If you guys don't know the correlation between the Kiwi and the Aussie dollar, they're pretty much like the same pair. I mean, not exactly, right? They look very different, but the charts pretty much do the same thing. When Australian dollar, US dollar drops over a long period of time, so does New Zealand dollar, US dollar. And so I'm long-term bullish on AUD USD, which means I'm also long-term bullish on NZD USD. I've talked about on the weekly outlook previously that we're back inside of a 2-year range, right? Pretty much since the middle of 2016 to about the middle of 2018, we stayed in this range between about the 74 zone to the 68.50 zone. So about a 650 pip range we stayed in. And I believe we're going to be heading back up towards the top of this range, or at least making some nice strides to that area. So I don't really have any specific price targets on either AUD USD or NZD USD. I just know that I'm bullish on them. USD CAD, guys, I gotta toot my horn a little bit with USD CAD. I mean, I know some of you guys may have seen this before. You're probably sick of seeing this, but for those of you guys that are new, just to see my credibility, guys, September 14th, months ago, October, November, December, 3 months ago, I called this 500 pip move almost to the pip, guys. Look at this. Buy zone. Right down here, 128 zone, okay, 128 level, buy zone. What did I have? Targets, 134. I said this is where price is going, or at least to that area. Let's go ahead and fast forward to see what happened. Boom. Buy zone from the 128 area, literally right up to 134, okay? I knew that this was going to happen before it even happened because of what we have seen previous in the markets and being able to understand price action. I called this, guys. And so now what I'm looking for downside on USD CAD, right? We already had our 500 pip move. Don't chase the buys if you didn't already catch some of the moves on the way up, right? It makes no sense, right? The idea of Forex isn't to buy at the highs and sell at the lows, right? It's to buy at the lows and sell at the highs. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because some of you guys could be saying, well, you're selling pound yen at these lows right now. Well, it's not really the lows. If we look at a scaled out perspective going back to 2016, it's actually more in the highs, right? If we were actually to fib this out and see, where like the 50% retracement is to mark the halfway move, we're still more at the highs than we are at the lows, right? We'd be more at the lows if we were below the 50% retracement level, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're very much so still at a good risk to reward point for pound yen, because this 140 level is just target 1, right? I'm expecting pound yen to drop thousands of pips, okay? Thousands of pips, okay? Not just hundreds of pips, thousands of pips, okay? And then let's go back. So yeah, USD CAD, looking for sells on USD CAD. I mean, I've told you guys, if you've been following my Telegram, click the link in the description, guys. There's a link to my free public Telegram where I give out these ideas. And if you can filter out all the fake groups and all these fake traders, and you can filter your mindset to understanding that it's not about how many trades you take, and it's about the quality of the trades that you take, you're going to be very successful. You're going to be very, very successful, especially if you follow people that have what you want. That's a problem with a lot of people, is they're just wanting all these free handouts and free trades, and they're in 50 different Telegram groups taking out trades. Now, is it bad to be in more than one Telegroup than mine? Is every single person out there a scammer and a fake? No, right? No, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. There's some real ones out there that are transparent. But guys, I have a MyFX book. Okay, I have a MyFX book that tracks my returns. I also have a 2-year MyFX book that I share with serious investors. That's been around since the beginning of 2017. That's in net profits. So it's not like a discussion of if I'm a profitable trader. It's proven on paper that I'm a profitable trader. So you guys should probably follow other people. If you're going to follow somebody else, just do your DD. Do your due diligence and follow somebody that has a track record. Follow somebody that is staying consistent long term. Guys, I've been running Positive Traders for 2.5 years now, almost 3 years. I've been trading Forex for 5. Okay? You don't really get 5 years into Forex, traveling the world, running a business based off of your results in Forex by doing bad. Okay, pretty simple. So just be careful of who you follow. Euro NZD, I'm actually gonna uncheck Euro NZD. I'm not super interested. I mean, I'll keep it marked off. You guys know that I've been bearish. Actually, I will keep it marked. Euro NZD and Euro AUD, both of these pairs I've been looking for sells on. Now, we actually caught a sell, right? Let's go back to our MAM account. Look at this right here, Euro AUD, right here. Okay, this is another trade that made up our December trade, because we took a sell on Euro AUD. All the way, I forget even where it was. I know it was like 240 pips is where we caught it. So it must have been somewhere around this area. Yeah, somewhere around this area. Oh yeah, I think it was actually right here. Right where my cursor is at on November 26th. We took a sell on Euro AUD. Went through a little bit of drawdown. We had our stop loss up here. I think it was something like a, what is that? Like a 150 pips stop loss. Now, we were looking for 600 pips on this trade originally, but again, guys, that is a big thing with my trading. It is called discretionary trading for a reason, right? I close and open trades at my discretion. So we caught 240 pips all the way to the bottom down here. And then we closed off this trade. made up some nice profits. So it's the AUD USD buy and the Euro AUD sell that really put us into some nice profits for this month that we held from last month. And then we saw an extreme rally, right? We're seeing, not only did we see, it was most of this had to do AUD weakness, right? Last week we saw the Australian dollar fall. Just a second, guys. Okay, there we go. It was just not working for a second. Oh no, did it stop the stream? Hopefully the stream didn't end, guys. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Are we still good? Okay, we should be good. Let me know in the chat if you guys can still hear me. I'm obviously on an island right now. Okay, you guys are still here. Let me know if you guys can hear me. This island doesn't have the most amazing Wi-Fi. We're good. Okay, there we go. We're good. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't break this up into 2 recordings. That would really suck. But anyways, yeah, Euro NZD, Euro AUD, we caught these moves, and this was from weakness, right? If weakness on AUD GDP, right? So if you guys see last week, there was some Australian dollar somewhere in here. Maybe it was the week before last. See, these weeks just fly. No, it wasn't the week before last. I'm not going to spend all the time looking for it, but I know that there was some GDP that came out that was very bad for the Australian dollar, and that's what created a sell-off on the Australian dollar over the past couple weeks. Okay, or over the past week, sorry. And then one pair that I've been looking at, guys, this is a really big setup that all of you guys should be looking for. USD Singapore dollar. Potentially, I am definitely not entering this trade this week. Okay, probably not next week either. Based on the ATR, if you guys are familiar with that, the average true range for this pair, it doesn't look like this pair is going to move the pips that we want to the downside to get us that confirmation this week. But I am definitely expecting some downside on USD Singapore dollar. We are breaking a nice uptrend. We're getting kind of like a structural retest right now, a bearish continuation pattern. But I'm still a little bit on the sidelines. I mean, who knows? Maybe this trade will give us an opportunity for entry this week. I'm not really sure. But again, if you guys have been following me for a couple weeks or keeping up with these outlooks for at least a couple weeks, I've been bearish on USD Singapore dollar for a while now. Okay, I've been looking for sells. We've definitely had those wicks and that just exhaustion pattern from the buyers happening. And yeah, I mean, there's no other real way to say it, right? It's hard to get really complex, guys, because to be honest, I could literally spend an hour on each pair, breaking down the fundamentals, breaking down the technicals, really getting into everything with you guys. But I'm trying to make this as user friendly as possible. That's why for my students, I do a webinar Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of every single week, so that way I'm able to get a little bit more in depth, because these weekly outlooks, I don't want to just sit on this outlook for 5-6 hours, because I mean, it's just numbers, guys. None of you guys are going to stay here for that time, or if you do, it's going to be like 1% of you guys, and I'm not just trying to reach 1% of people. I'm trying to give as much value out as I can in a short amount of time, okay? And then finally, AUD NZD. AUD NZD is actually finding some big downside. I had an alert set here. You guys can see that it's now grayed out. I have a little gray timer right there. I wanted to know when this downtrend was really breaking. We've actually broken this series of higher lows that we were making on AUD NZD, and I would expect more downside on this pair. Strong weekly bearish candle from last week. I haven't even had a chance to look at the COT report yet to see where commercial and institutional traders' positions are at. So I'm not super interested in getting into any big moves right now, but looks like we could see a little bit more downside on this pair this week. So Guys, I'll answer some questions very quickly. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and message them. Put them in the chat room. Sam asked, David, you didn't finish school, right? Did you study something else after it or just got into Forex? Right, Sam, I never went to university. Right after high school, you can actually read my story. If you go to my website, if you go to Positive Traders and you go to my bio, it's just positivetraders.us, guys. This is the link right here. If you go to my website, you will be able to see my bio and read a little bit more about me, see where I come from. Sam also asked, you travel a lot for business or for vacations? Well, this time it was to get away. I mean, it's always for business and vacation. It's half and half, right? I met some business partners out here, made some nice new business connections and business moves. I went to the largest blockchain and crypto conference in Bangkok, and there's over 10 million people that live in Bangkok, so it's a very big conference, and got to make some really good connections. Let's see if anybody asks anything. I think that is it. I'll give you guys a second or two to ask any questions if you have. But other than that, guys, out of all of these pairs, they're all looking really good. I mean, obviously, I'm the most confident about the trade that I'm in, pound yen. That does not mean to over leverage, guys. That is the biggest thing. I'll tell you right now, you're just stupid if you look at this and you're like, well, David's taking this trade, so I'm going to over leverage my account. I'm going to risk, I have $1,000 in my account, and I'm going to throw a couple lots on this trade just because David's in it and he says that it's a good trade. It is your own damn fault if you lose more than 1% on this trade. Okay? If you blow your account on this trade, but because you took it based off of what I said on here, it's your own fault. Okay? It's your own fault. Nobody else's fault but your own. I have a 1% risk, and I told everybody, all of my students in the group, risk 1% of your account. Okay? If you lose more than the recommended risk, that's on you, guys. That's on you. That's nobody else's fault but your own. Okay? Don't even be trading. Don't even be investing real money if you don't understand proper risk management. Right? You're just stupid if you're doing that. You are literally just dumb. Okay? Like, I have no remorse for people that invest real money when they don't know what they're doing to a T. If you don't know exactly what you're doing, you don't know exactly how to manage your risk, and you're just going in because you know there's an opportunity to make money and you have no idea what you're doing, shame on you. Shame on you. Like, straight up, shame on you. You deserve to lose your money. Okay? Now, I don't want to see anybody lose their money, but you need to learn a lesson. Okay? You need to learn a lesson, and that lesson's going to be painful when you lose more money than you want. But at least you feel that pain. And hopefully after you feel that pain, you never do it again. And if you do it again, you're insane. You're the definition of insanity. You're going around in circles, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Okay? So, be real, guys. Be real with yourself. Take a look in the mirror sometime and say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually do this properly. I'm going to treat it like a career. I'm going to treat it like the greats treat it. And I'm not going to try to get rich quick. You try to get rich quick, you're going to lose every single penny in your account. Okay? And I don't hope you do, but you deserve to. You deserve to lose every penny if you try to flip your account. Because you have somebody right here, right now, in front of you that is a professional trader managing tons and tons of money, making tons and tons of money, backed up with a track record, telling you guys how to do it and how it's done. And if you decide to disregard that and go the other direction, then you deserve to lose every single penny that you have in Forex. Okay? And hopefully you guys take this as a learning experience. Those of you guys that do struggle with risk management, those of you guys that do struggle with that mindset and that mentality of social media and Facebook and Instagram telling you that Forex is a way to get rich quick. Guys, Nothing that is worth it in this life is going to come easy. And anything that does come easy, it's not going to be worth it. Okay? Straight up. All right. Halibi says, thanks for the analysis, but need more clarification on the reason for taking a sell on GBP JPY. Yeah, unfortunately, Halibi, that's something I didn't even mean to give out this trade. That's something for my students. So yeah, it's a trade. Like I said, go watch. If you need some more clarification, go watch the previous webinars that I have posted on my channel. I've talked about pound yen for a while and why I'm bearish on pound yen, why I'm looking for some long-term sells on pound yen. But I don't have time to sit here today and spend another 15-20 minutes going over this pair because there's a lot of things.